The true test of democracy is not just in the strength of its national institutions, but on the capacity and effectiveness of its local government system in serving the people. In Anambra State, the local government system had faced numerous challenges of inefficiency and poor governance. But on assumption of office, Governor Soludo launched a reform initiative to tackle these issues. His goals are to revitalize the local government system, making them more accountable and responsive to the needs of the people. This is Solution Footprints. In this episode, we'll bring your way the initiatives of Governor Soludo in reforming the local government system. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Let's go. Anambra State has witnessed significant transformations under the leadership of Governor Soludo CFR. On this episode, we will delve into the local government administration and the remarkable achievements of Governor Soludo's administration. Assuming office in March 2022, Governor Soludo inherited a state plagued by insecurity, lawlessness, and infrastructure deficit. His vision was clear: to build a livable and prosperous smart megacity, making Anambra State Africa's new axis of sustainable prosperity.
Why we are trying to, the grand vision of a livable and prosperous homeland, why we focus on that big agenda, we must ensure that the weakest link in the chain is as strong as the strongest part of the chain. That's why we must intentionally design our programs and policies to make sure that the vulnerables, the weak and the poor are also carried along as we move on, to build a society where everyone has a stake. Everyone has a stake in the public good that we provide. That is the society we're intentionally building.
To achieve this vision, Governor Soludo implemented a 5-solution pillar strategy, focusing on security, law and order, infrastructure and economic transformation, human capital and social agenda, governance and value system, and sustainable environment. One of the significant achievements of Governor Soludo's administration is the improvement in security. The establishment of a Ministry of Homeland Affairs, a joint task force, and the restructuring of the Anambra security architecture under Udogachi and the enactment of the Homeland Security Law have contributed to a drastic reduction in criminal incidences and security crises.
On our part as government, be rest assured that we are determined to take the criminals head-on and quadruple our efforts in security. The next few months will be turbulent. The criminals will seek out and strike at soft targets to test our will. We are in a marathon race and not a sprint. In the next few weeks and months, they will come out just to harass and to intimidate, to cause havoc, to put a damper to the initiative, all in the bid to scare us. We've seen that before. We saw that in 2022, but they finally gave way. And just like they gave way later part of 2022, they will give way now, and they are going to give way permanently. This is a marathon. It's a marathon race because it will require not only the kinetic brute force, but a medium to long-term social re-engineering to reclaim the soul of our society.
In addition to security, the administration has also made strides in the administration of law and order. The digitization of justice delivery systems, the establishment of virtual hearing facilities, and the amendment of the criminal justice law have enhanced access to justice and improved the productivity of judges. Infrastructure development has also received significant attention. The construction of roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure has improved connectivity and facilitated economic growth. Governor Soludo's administration has demonstrated a commitment to grassroots development, empowering local government to drive growth and prosperity.
I would say, I'll just be straight to the point that a lot has changed. A lot of improvement, a lot of innovation, efficiency, a whole lot has changed in the local government system. When we came in, there was a mandate by Mr. Governor, and the mandate was to change the local government system, how it used to be and what it's going to be now. And immediately I came into office, swift into action. Before we came into office, in the Anambra are aware that the local government system was not working. The mayors, or no, rather let me say the TC chairman, because what we have now is the mayors, hardly go to the office. The whole place is deserted. In fact, no working tools. The system wasn't working at all. And when I went round, the first thing I did was to go around the local governments to even know why it's not working. What is the problem? Because you need to start from the foundation. And that is what we did. So by the time we got there, we find out that even most of the local government doesn't have a working tools. So when you expect workers to even come to work, what do you expect them to work with? What do you expect them to do? No work schedule, nothing. Of course, you don't have a work tool, so you don't even expect to have a work schedule. So what we did was to begin to search for people with competence, people who are ready to work in line with Mr. Governor's vision and mission for the states. Are they ready to go to work? Are they ready to transform the place, the local government system?
The liberation of 8 local government areas previously taken over by criminals is a testament to these commitments.
Local government system the way it was when we came, we needed to put it back in order. Put its finances in order, because pensioners of the place, I think they were not paid pension arrears of about 4 years. We now need to begin to clear up this. There are a lot of things that hold them together. You need to streamline and clean up, then for each of them to stand and become viable entities as well. We are strengthening their capacity to be able to deliver services such as waste management and other primary health care and education as well, and so on and so forth. And we've reconstructed 5 local governments, completed renovations of some.
The conduct of the local government election by Governor Soludo on 28th September 2024 no doubt set the tone for a new dawn in local government administration in Anambra State.
We will conduct local government elections. No doubt the uniform local government system as the third federating unit is one of the contested features of our federalism. But we must make the best of a bad system by unleashing the potential of governance at the lower level. Over the next 2 years, we shall review, amend the relevant legislations, reform and strengthen the system for efficiency, restructure and strengthen the Anambra's Independent Electoral Commission, and conduct local government elections. We will collaborate and coordinate actively with local governments to ensure synergy and complementarities. Let the revolution also get to the grassroots.
The last local government election in the state was held more than 11 years ago, before the one Governor Soludo conducted.
And for Mr. Governor and for we believe that local government should be at the grassroots level. Power should go back to the grassroots. They are more closer to the grassroots. You recall that during Mr. Governor's swearing-in ceremony, he did promise in the Anambra and that is going to conduct local government election. So we are in the process of trying to conduct a local government election before the Supreme Court judgment that came forth. And graciously, Mr. Governor, as also a law-abiding citizen, swift into action immediately and conducted the election.
And so, in his jinx-breaking nature, the governor ensured that the institutional and legal frameworks were put in place.
Today is the 28th of September 2024. So promise met, promise kept. Today is the local government election in Anambra State. We're electing the chairman of the local government, whom we now call mayors, and the councillors. Councillors in the 326 wards in Anambra and the 21 local governments in Anambra are being elected today. And from all the calls and feelers I have gotten from all over the state, voting is going on smoothly. The operations and logistics arrangements have been incredibly, gone very, very well, superlatively well. I've gotten calls from literally all the local governments of Anambra State.
The local government law was enacted by Anambra State House of Assembly through Governor Soludo's ingenuity and his commitment to law and order.
You can see now, as we speak, things are being decentralized to the local governments area, to the grassroots, I must say. I've been issued when they were still called the TC chairman. Things are done from the state capital, Oka. And for Mr. Governor and for we believe that local government should be at the grassroots level. Power should go back to the grassroots. They are more closer to the grassroots. Most times before, when there are fire incidents in any of the local governments, for an example, you see someone calling all the way from that place of the people of Oka. But today, at each of the zones, in as much as I know, they are planning, every local government is planning to have his own fire truck. Now, from each of the zone, when there is anything like that, swift action, under few minutes, the truck is there. So that's what we're talking about. Things should be decentralized down to the grassroots. People should be able to have access to their local government.
Interestingly, Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo is driving a paradigm shift in the operation of local government system in Anambra State, positioning it as a model for other states in Nigeria. Don't go anywhere, because the story continues. Under Governor Soludo, the traditional ruler's law and code of conduct has come into effect.
We are in good shape with this new appointment that the governor gave me. There will be more synergy. There will be more collective work and responsibility to see that our state moves forward. So we're growing. Different communities are also enjoying this new scheme, security scheme, that is definitely what we want to restore Anambra, the peace and normalcy in Anambra.
First and foremost, the traditional rulers are from the grassroots. They see to activities of the community, working in tandem with the President General. The traditional ruler is the head, followed by the President General. And the role they play in the community is too enormous. And those roles being played in the community is being taken to the government. Like, for example, the recent law on security enacted by Anambra State House of Assembly and signed into law by His Excellency the Governor. If our communities are crime-free, then the state will equally be crime-free. So it is the role of the traditional ruler, working in tandem with the town union and other quarter chairmen to make sure that this security law succeeds and make sure that there's peace and tranquility in our various communities, which is very paramount to leadership of any government.
Now, the local government system has been energized as they are now completely independent with their own budget system.
We have a very wise man as a governor. That's a fact. If you go and look at Anambra State Local Government Administration Law 2024, it is a model. It is a model for Nigeria. No doubt some states are copying that today. You see, the local government system is not the way it is. The way we see it is not the way it is. When you get inside, there are more to it inside. But if you are assessing it from outside, you may not understand. For instance, the pension and gratuity of local government worker is paid from the local government where he worked and retired, isn't it? There are some people, this is Oyi local government, there are people who are of Oyi local government origin who never worked in this local government, but rather in another one, and they retired there. In the spirit of autonomy, what if the local government chairman comes as I am now as mayor? It is within my power to say, anybody who is not of Oyi origin, go to a local government of origin. I cannot pay you, and they will live here. That man who retired, maybe is riding that year. Which government will you go and who will pay him his pension and gratuity? But when you look at that reform, you see a kind of a pool. You see a kind of a pool that will deal with so many issues within the same local government system, that is able to make the whole system function at the same time, without people saying, because of Oka North is paying salaries as at Wendo, Anambra West, because they don't have resources, all right, they cannot pay again, all right. We want to go to that place where workers are being paid regularly as at Wendo. You begin to see, in Oka North you might have overpopulated staff, while Anambra West, Oyi, you may have shortage of staff because they cannot pay because of their revenue or whatever goes to them. So, but when these things are amalgamated, you begin to see that these things are done simultaneously. As this local government is paying salaries, this one is paying, whether the big or small. That pool, they will pay from that pool to make things function at the same time.
The government has, through the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, provided and installed 10 kVA solar lights in all the local government headquarters, renovated and rebuilt Newi South and Agwata local government headquarters that were burnt down by criminals.
Here in Agwata local government area, we have 14 communities, and then the local government council is in very close relationship with our traditional rulers, our president generals, and other stakeholders, religious leaders, women leaders, youth leaders, and so on and so forth. We are working very closely with them. In the area of security, for example, we are working very close with them. We are in the areas of environmentals, waste management, sanitation, and all that. We can't do it alone. We have to work, in tandem with the community structures. And I would say that has yielded very much massive results in the local government area, simply because of our intentionality to work very closely with the community, with the community leaders and stakeholders. Mr. Governor is a role model himself, and for any leader, young leader at that, I think it wouldn't be out of place to model your governance style, your administrative style, alongside his own style and his personality. So I would say Mr. Governor has influenced me so much. His thought processes, his everything about him, exudes someone who is ready and who is prepared to lead. And here in Agwata, we are modeling the things we do alongside the solution agenda. In the relationship between the state and local government, has on continuous basis been solidified, and as such, we expect that there would be a massive transformation at the grassroots. So I would say, in my own opinion, that the local government system in Anambra is growing from strength to strength.
The headquarters of Idemili North, Obaru, Ihiala, and Ekwusigo, which suffered the same fate in the hands of arsonists, were equally reconstructed. The Soludo administration has been able to reconcile groups in many communities who had been in deep conflicts over chieftaincy, Igwe or President General matters. This has made room for peace in the state.
When we came on board and discovered that almost all the communities were thrown into crises of different kinds, godfatherism, the so-called money bags. You can think about it. So many of them hijacked their communities. They are even ready to fight the law. The law is there to maintain peace and order. But these people doesn't care. So, we now had a meeting and he said he wants all these communities to be resolved. And what we did was to ensure that every community has a bylaw, has a constitution. I call it their Bible. So when we came on board, we made a public announcement because Mr. Governor wants the community to be able to produce a leader that they can call a leader that they can follow, a leader that they can listen to, a leader that can take them to the promised land. So what we did was to announce that, fine, we no longer want a caretaker. Because when we came on board, things you hear on the street is, this PG is government PG. This Igwe is government Igwe. This youth leader is government youth leader. This woman leader is government youth leader. And they'll be attaching the governor's name to those people. So, by the time we announced that, and told every community that you must provide us with a constitution. If you don't have one, go back and get one. And we gave them a time frame. And they brought their constitutions.
What makes up the local government is the communities within the local government. And it's the same communities that makes up the state. In Anambra State, we have 179 communities in the whole of the state, recognized communities by the government. So the Anambra is a very unique system of community administration or governance. You can liken it to monarch system of government in England. You have the traditional institution and then the town union leadership. Just like you have the Queen and the Prime Minister. This is the setting of the community leadership, all working towards the developmental good of both the communities and the state at large. So the PGs are the head of the administration, seeing to day-to-day running of the town, the community development, calling their people together for the main purpose of developing their community.
In fact, we appreciate our governor so much. He's Mr. Solution. He's been doing very well. We're working together with him. The whole 179 communities are working very, very well with the governor. And we're doing his footsteps. We do go for our regular meetings every month, and where we put head together, to see how we can improve the states. He told us to go and make sure that we have good security system in our town. And for me, I took that very serious, and that was one of my greatest agenda. That along with my fellow executives of the town.
As Governor Soludo's administration continues to drive transformation in Anambra State, it is clear that his vision for a secure, lawful, and orderly society is becoming a reality. The journey is far from over, but the progress made so far is a promising indication of what is to come. Governor Soludo's local government reforms initiative marks a new era of accountability, transparency, and community empowerment. As local governance evolves, the path to a brighter and more inclusive future awaits in the Anambra. The journey is just starting, but the promise of change is clear. And that's it on this week's edition of Solution Footprints. Do well to follow us next week for another interesting edition of the show. Follow us on our social media handles at Solution Footprints on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and Solution FP on X, formerly Twitter. My name is Chidimma Orangwa Ndibai.